great favorite.
Gimana enggak ya? Mereka tuh ngerasa bahagia gitu ya di Malaysia.
When it rains,
Aman,
it rains
nyaman.
in Malaysia.
Definitely.
I don't know if you saw this video, but
Orang-orangnya
I
ramah.
went inside some kind of a tent in front of the KLCC mall, and there were a lot of things there, including this sphere, and I am about to write Terima kasih Malaysia and record this very special video.
Terima kasih Malaysia.
Halo teman-teman semua, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Apa kabarnya nih teman-teman semua? Semoga sehat selalu ya. Dan kembali lagi bersama Biscuit tentunya. Kali ini kita masih mau ngelanjutin requestan dari teman-teman semua. Thank you untuk teman-teman yang sudah kirimin link requestnya ke DM Instagram aku di @ysrizqiyyah. Kenapa sih ya teman-teman ya? Ramai sekali orang Amerika yang berpindah ke negara Malaysia. Berikut alasannya yang akan mereka sampaikan tentu saja. Karena kita juga penasaran ya teman-teman ya, ramai sekali pendatang orang luar negara sana yang datang ke negara Malaysia dan memilih menetap di negara Malaysia. Kira-kira apa saja alasannya? Langsung saja kita nonton ya videonya.
So after living in Malaysia for 1 year in 4 different cities, my wife and I talk about would we ever want to live in Malaysia permanently and make this country our home. Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about different reasons that we've come up with why we think Malaysia would be a good fit for us, but also a few reasons why we might hesitate on living or retiring in Malaysia. Let's get started. The first reason why we would choose Malaysia to be our permanent home is the people here. The people in Malaysia are very friendly. We often get warm smiles and hellos from strangers as we walk down the street. Our experiences with the Malaysian people have always been pleasant. The second reason we would choose Malaysia is that there is a high level of English proficiency here. When we've traveled in other countries, we often feel quite isolated because we don't speak the language. But here in Malaysia, almost everybody speaks enough English to have a conversation. And reason number 3 why we would live in Malaysia is that there is an established expat community here. If you want to meet people from your home country, it's very easy. There are Facebook groups and there are organized meetups and organized activities arranged by the expat community. Okay, reason number 4 is the cost of living, and really I think that's the main reason why people consider retiring outside of their home country, due to lower expenses based on the strength of the home currency. Overall, we found that our cost of living in Malaysia is roughly half of what it was to live back home in the US. Okay, reason number 5 we would consider retiring in Malaysia is that it is a more developed country compared to places like Cambodia or Mexico. Public transportation within cities and also between cities is really good quality, much higher than the US, in fact, as far as I'm concerned, and so cheap. Reason number 6, the medical care. Oh wow, we are so impressed with the healthcare in Malaysia. It is some of the best in the world. In fact, before COVID put a halt to medical tourism, Malaysia was receiving about 1 million foreigners coming to the country for medical treatment each year. Just a few examples, an MRI here in Malaysia might be a few $100s versus a few $1,000s in the US, and appointments for a specialist can generally be made just a few days ahead of time in Malaysia versus the few months ahead of time required in the US. Alright, reason number 7, crime and safety. But we feel safer here in Malaysia than many other countries we have visited, and definitely safer in Malaysia than back home in the US, seriously. I was a teacher back in the US, and teachers in America have to learn how to handle a mass shooting and sniper attacks. No shootings like that here. The 8th reason we personally would consider Malaysia for retirement is the food. The thing that is good about it is that there is access to both the wonderful Malaysian food and a tremendous variety of international cuisine. Really, you can find any food you want here, and that is why Penang was rated the #1 food location in the world by Lonely Planet. Okay, now for a few reasons why we personally would possibly hesitate about choosing Malaysia as our place for retirement. Reason number 1 is the weather. It is hot here. When we go out for the day, we usually come back home sticky and sweaty. Okay, now for reason number 2 why we might hesitate about choosing Malaysia is that because of its location, it's a lot of traveling for us to get back home to visit friends and family. Alright, reason number 3 is the immigration requirements. Malaysia has an immigration program called MM2H, or Malaysia My Second Home. But while we were in the middle of gathering the required paperwork, the program was suspended due to COVID and also some other reasons. I have to say, I have visited almost 70 countries now, and if I had to choose one to live in right now, I would choose Malaysia. That would be number one at the top of the list.
Okay, a little bit of a bonus. So this is why I continued to stay in Malaysia, even though COVID-19 travel restrictions are over. So there's a lot of things I like about Malaysia, like so much. Like I went back to visit the US like recently, just like a few months ago, and it's so violent there. Like it's just you just see people get stabbed at 3 p.m. on the street with a knife. When I worked downtown, I worked at a cafe and like someone overdosed and died in the bathroom. Like I just remember like some guy randomly coming into the coffee shop where I was working. Like I used to work nights. I'd like during the day I'd work at a preschool, and then at nights I'd work at a bar or a cafe. I was working at a coffee shop, and like 6 p.m. this guy like wanders in like bleeding all over the place. Had to help clean him up and call an ambulance for him, and it's just like so normal. Like it didn't even faze me. Like how like that's kind of not normal. And yeah, and just like cleaning up heroin needles all the time, and just like it's just like a different world. It's very violent. You just kind of like you walk around on edge because it's just a more stressful situation. Housing prices are also just a lot higher compared to the income that people make. So yeah, you might make higher income, but like just the disparity between like housing costs and income is like a lot. So most people work like 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. Even people who have lucrative jobs still tend to work an extra job, just you never know. Side hustle, we call it. And it's just like so stressful. And also people in the US are really weird about my eyes because my eyes kind of shake. And the first conclusion that people from the US usually jump to is like, oh my gosh, you're not paying attention, you're rude, you're on drugs, you know, what's wrong with you, and like really angry. And in Malaysia, if people do notice, because eye contact isn't really as important the same way in Asia as it is in the West, if people do notice, they'll just be like, oh, are you okay? Like just like a normal, polite thing that you say because you're a decent human being. So I just generally have a better vibe with the Malaysians. And then sunscreen is just very available here. It's like cheap, it's available. So I really like how easy it is to buy sunscreen here and how good it is. And then of course the warm weather is really good for my migraines, so I enjoy that. I like the green spaces in the city. I like the public transportation. And then during COVID, I was like looking for book recommendations, and I found some book recommendations from a Malaysian guy. They were pretty good book recommendations, and so good that I'm still here because of that, because of him. So sometimes if you're not looking for love, you find it. And yeah, I recommend asking people for book recommendations if you're looking for love. Maybe you'll vibe with somebody because they have really good book ideas.
Why are so many Westerners moving to Malaysia? It's absolutely something that we see happening. I mean, I've been coming to Malaysia for the last 13 years now, and I've seen more and more Westerners moving over here, and I see it all over social media that more people want to come here. Now, of course, it would be easy to say things like, well, you know, the pound goes further here, or the euro, or the dollar, or whatever, or the weather is nicer here. And of course, those things will come into account for certain people. But if it was just wanting to go somewhere that was cheaper, there are countries that you can go to where the pound or dollar or euro or whatever will go much, much further than Malaysia. If it's just about good weather, hot, sunny weather, then you can get that much, much closer to home. And yet still, people from the West, certainly I know from the UK, want to come to Malaysia. Why is that? Well, my opinion on that is pretty simple. I think that people want to come to Malaysia because it offers something that is now lacking in the West. As someone from the UK, I can absolutely say this is one of the things that makes Malaysia so attractive to me, is that in Malaysia, things like community and family, culture, tradition, religion are still core values that are held sort of at the centre of society and how it's run. And that really is something that we lost a long, long time ago in the UK. I don't know exactly when or why or how, but that is how it is. You know, we don't really have those sort of fundamental connections in the UK anymore, and I think I can speak largely for the West as well. So when you see people coming over to Malaysia, you know, some people will be coming here maybe with some bad intentions. Other people might be coming here because it's just an affordable place to live for them if they've got a lot of money. Some people just come because they like the landscape and the nature and the weather or whatever. But I think I can speak for a lot of people that have chosen to come here when I say that it isn't those things that drive us to leave our home countries and move over here and, you know, try and join society and integrating society is because simply society here is better.
No, it's not offered.
Lebih baik.
Oh no, that's okay. So he's just here for the people? Just to say hi?
Yes, to say hi to you.
Oh, just say hi to me.
Okay.
Beruntung banget ya. Kayaknya pernah deh aku ngeliat video ini. Pas lagi nge-vlog ketemu.
This is Sultan Abdullah, the King of Malaysia. Him and his wife, the Queen, were in town for a wedding and stopped to talk to the people. I, in fact, have never fangirled harder over someone I had never met or heard of in my life, but here we are.
Ketemu yang di Pertuan Agung. Oh.
From the United States.
United States, okay.
Hello.
You're here on holiday?
Yes, I am.
How long for?
We're here for 2 weeks. That was a lie. But could you think straight talking to the King of Malaysia?
Okay, that's a nice camera.
Thank you. It was so nice to meet you.
Alright, have a good holiday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
I'm lucky to have a photo of the king and the queen. Very rare photo.
I just took a video with the king and queen of Malaysia.
Is Malaysia truly Asia?
Definitely, it's truly Asia. 100%.
We're gonna meet someone today. He's another traveler here in the KLCC Park. Wow, the Twin Tower, really big. Oh, yes. Okay, so I think I recognize him. Is it you?
You? One and only Owen?
I am.
Bro, how's it going?
It's good. It's a perfect place to meet, right? In front of the Twin Tower. By the way, you didn't tell me your name.
My name's Solomon. Yeah,
Okay, Solomon, nice to meet you. So we stopped in this bridge to take a picture, but actually it's a video. What do travelers really think about Malaysia? We're both travelers. If you had like one word to describe Malaysia,
Oh, this is
what would
tough.
it be?
It'd be friendly.
That's a good one. Is it Las Vegas here?
Friendly.
Malaysians, if they want to take pictures with us.
Terbaik Malaysia.
Group picture, all together.
Alright.
I'm gonna try to find a good spot to take a picture. I was kind of nervous to ask, to be honest. Okay, we join. And then he asked me how much do I spend for 1 month traveling in Malaysia. I would say something like 600 euros.
Oh wow, 600 euros. Pretty good.
But I don't do the fancy activities. I feel like I'm just living, and I do a lot of free activities because there's so much to enjoy already. I think we can play with the kids.
Yeah, let's go.
What's going on? Yeah, I think we have to leave.
Yeah, it's rainy season here in Kuala Lumpur.
Oh, we almost died from the storm. That's not the point of this video, right? We survived. Change the title to We Survived.
We survived the storm.
Everyone is running. That's pretty crazy.
Gimana enggak ya? Mereka tuh ngerasa bahagia gitu ya di Malaysia.
When it rains,
Aman,
it rains
nyaman.
in Malaysia.
Definitely.
I don't know if you saw this video, but
Orang-orangnya
I
ramah.
went inside some kind of a tent in front of the KLCC mall, and there were a lot of things there, including this sphere, and I am about to write Terima kasih Malaysia and record this very special video.
Terima kasih Malaysia.
Keren. Mereka ini ya teman-teman ya, dari pernyataan yang aku tangkap juga gitu kan ya. Mereka memang orang-orang Amerika ini, orang-orang Western dan dari Europe sana gitu merasa datang ke Malaysia, pindah ke Malaysia, tinggal di Malaysia itu ya beda dengan negara mereka gitu ya. Mereka di Malaysia merasa lebih aman, lebih nyaman, apa-apa tuh terjangkau gitu ya. Ya mungkin bagi mereka memang Malaysia lebih baik dari negaranya. Oleh sebab itu mereka memilih datang, menetap ataupun itu tinggal di negara Malaysia yang sangat-sangat luar biasa. Itu ya teman-teman, yang melihat dari senyum mereka saja pada saat menjelaskan, saya senang tinggal di Malaysia, saya bahagia di sini gitu. Tidak seperti di negara saya yang membuat saya cemas setiap harinya gitu ya. Memang keramah tamahan orang-orang di Malaysia ini terbaik ya teman-teman ya. Bertemu orang-orang baik, makanannya pun cocok gitu kan. Dari segi fasilitas, pendidikan, transportasi itu semuanya oke gitu ya. Dari apapun itu yang terpenting ya mereka merasa aman dan nyaman di negara Malaysia gitu ya. Dan itu tadi salah satunya dalam hal berkomunikasi dengan orang-orang yang ada di Malaysia. Orang-orang dari Western, dari Europe ini juga merasa nyambung karena orang-orang di Malaysia juga bahasa Inggrisnya tuh bagus-bagus gitu ya. Ya hal-hal seperti itulah yang membuat negara Malaysia memang dicintai oleh banyak orang ya teman-teman ya. Dan oke teman-teman semua, demikian ya video kita kali ini, berkah untuk negara Malaysia. Terima kasih untuk teman-teman yang sudah request. Aku akhiri dulu. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sampai jumpa lagi di videoku selanjutnya. Bye bye, see you next time, bye.